So, if you don't know, Planes of Eidolon has just released for consoles, and I'm going to be showing you a setup that I use that I don't see a lot of people using, and I think you should be using. Okay, let's get into the build video, or the video. Okay, so if you can see the three weapons that I'm holding, one on my back, two in my hands, and the frame I'm using, you're going to see that I'm using Nidus with the Glaive Prime, with the Sicarus Prime, with the Vectis Prime. Now, you might be thinking, those are three vaulted Prime weapons, Hunter. And I'm like, yeah, they are. So the Glaive Prime is very powerful. If you have the Glaive Prime, 100% use it now because it is so powerful in Plains of Eidolon. Because of that range status, it's the longest range melee weapon in the game. People are like, Atarax is. No, this thing can be thrown. People are like, longest range melee weapon, Atarax, Secure Electa, Orthos Prime. And people are completely forgetting about the Glaive Prime, which is such an underdog of a melee weapon to begin with. If you throw it, you get 1800 viral damage, 730 radiation damage, 438 blast damage, plus impact puncture slash. So those are 6 status effects you can proc on one enemy, possibly. And if you charge it, which means you do double the damage, you do double the damage of everything if you can charge it perfectly. So, yeah. So you can do with slash, you can deal 875 slash damage, and then with viral, slash and viral, if you've seen my, past melee weapon build videos, you'll see that I love slash and viral combo together. This is the ultimate. So, yeah. And the Sicarus Prime is there to proc corrosive, just so we can get that viral damage, more viral damage punctured through that enemy armor. Yeah. You'll also see that this is also 10 times the damage from a basic melee attack to a charged throw. Everything is 10 times the damage, and as long as you have 4 dual stat mods on here, you will have a 100% status chance for everything. So we're going to discuss the build right here. The build is a simple condition overload build, and this thing has a melee attack speed of 1.25, so primed fury is not needed. Now, one thing, this is a zero form build, by the way, so have fun. It's very, very cost efficient too, so if you want, you can replace something for primed reach. You will not get as much damage out, but you will get more range. Kind of favors the Plains of Eidolon, but you don't really need that because, yeah, you have Nidus's too to kind of work with. Sicarus Prime, this thing is bae for just being used by itself. First of all, its good crit chance and status chance allows you to potentially get some red crits on enemies while proccing a little bit of corrosive damage to kind of help you with your game and your Glaive Prime base damage. Next, the Vectis Prime for radiation. Just in case you come across a terror list, you can kind of wreck it with this thing. And then Nidus. What else do I need to say? This is Nidus. It's the most overpowered frame of the game. He's balanced. This is a 2-forma build using the Growing Power Aura. You can use Steel Charge if you want to kind of increase that melee damage, which is kind of, I honestly kind of recommend it. Because first of all, it gives you 4 more extra mod slots, and you get 60% extra melee damage, which kind of favors the Glaive Prime a little. Yeah, and so here's the build. Basically, negative efficiency because Nidus is 1, refunds energy on every person you hit. 250% range to use that larva on. Prime flow to use your abilities more and more, so you don't have to keep worrying about wasting energy. Strength, you don't really need to worry about power strength as much because the more stacks Nidus gets, the more power strength he gets, and yeah. So that's kind of where growing power comes into play, but with Plains of Eidolon, you're not going to be using your stacks as efficiently. The only time you're going to be using your stacks is when you're using Ravenist and Parastic Link, which you're only going to use on an average about 15 to 20 stacks before you have to go back into Cetus and get another bounty. You're going to run out of stacks. So, yeah. The only thing you're going to really be using with Nidus is Larva and Parasitic Link, and that's about it. And you're going to see why here. So these are 5 level 110 heavy gunners, super high on armor. You might be thinking that the Glaive Prime can't take these enemies out. Oh, throw it in there for that charge damage, and you can go in for a little bit of this. Pulling off a fully charged shot and allowing the slash to kind of help take out those enemies with good ease. So use transference to gain that power spike, and I'm going to show you here that yeah, you're going to see what power spike can do with the Glaive Prime. If you guys don't know what power spike is, it's where it decays 10 of your combo meter instead of all of them at once. Quickly link that. Now we're just going to go ham. This is just the melee by itself being completely raw. So yeah, so it just decayed 10 of my melee combo counter, which is nice because you don't have to use your contact. That also throws enemies off the edge. Also, stacking enemies, getting all that corrosive proc on it, and then throwing the glaive in there to kind of help with condition overload is the reason why the glaive is just way too good to begin with. You're gonna have piles of bodies just bowing before you in utter absolute despair. Like, you're gonna see I'm just gonna be using the throw. Just the throw just has solid damage overall, and you're seeing that the slash is just the reason why he's dying. If you can hit a headshot too, you're gonna deal like double the damage. Ravenous is gonna help heal me up a little, and slash damage just completely kills him. Also, if you feel like channeling with the weapon, you can. But a charge throw from you holding out your Sicarus Prime is going to be plenty enough to just kill him. So, yeah. Even though I died, I didn't have any of those stacks. You're going to see this is the raw power of the Sicarus Prime. And having those, you know, corrosive procs on them. And then, yeah, that was 16,000 damage I just put out in just one charge throw. And, yeah. So you're gonna now you see the reason why I use this setup. People are like, "Why are you using the Glaive Prime, bro? It's not even that good." And I'm like, "Yes, it is." But if you keep holding it, it's a charge throw. But if you kind of match it right when it shows blue, you do like an extra charge, which makes it deadlier. So. Mod your glaive out for whatever you want. That's how I modded it out. It was basically just pure damage. Everything about it was damage. So there's nothing else I really need to say to make. Hopefully you guys are convinced that this is just overpowered in every way. Okay, so the reason why the glaive does so much damage. And the reason the glaive does do so much damage is because in Nidus's larva you do stealth damage, and if you can throw it, you deal extra damage. And if you proc a slash proc, so if you proc a viral proc with the basic attack, and then proc a slash proc with the charge throw, you're gonna deal way too much slash damage you can't even count. So that's just the reason why I use it. Nidus' Larva, grants stealth damage, and we all know how overpowered that is. Alright, so what you can do is you can kind of trot around shooting the Sicarus, and then you can kind of get some basic attacks in there. Viral, and someone's already dead. Two of them are already dead. The slash damage is doing 17,000 damage. Slash damage is the most overpowered thing in the game. Nothing else I really need to say. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like and possibly subscribe. It would make my day. Peace out.